Basketball just witnessed its ugliest, most explosive night in years, and the fallout is still spreading like wildfire. The bad blood between the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky wasn't new, but nobody saw this coming. A brutal, deliberate hit on live TV ended in an instant flagrant 2 ejection, and that was only the beginning. Behind the scenes, things got even messier. What happened in the locker room right after the ejection blew up into a full-blown national controversy, pulling in big media voices. Fox News' Joe Concha didn't hold back, publicly demanding the league drop the hammer with a serious suspension. Nothing about this looked like normal basketball. Chicago Sky guard Dejanai Carrington blindsided Fever's Sophie Cunningham with a vicious clothesline, sending her crashing to the floor. No hesitation, no remorse. Instead, Carrington vanished into the locker room and lit up social media with the words, "white privilege," pouring gasoline on an already burning situation. Referees are under fire, league rules are being questioned, and fans everywhere are calling for one thing: a season-long ban for Carrington. Stick around, because we're breaking down every second of this meltdown, the political storm it triggered, and why Concha is leading the charge to get her benched for good. Rewind to the game itself, and the tension was already thick enough to cut with a knife. Both teams came in hungry, physical, and ready to battle. Then, early in the first quarter, Sophie Cunningham, the Fever's go-to enforcer all season, grabbed a steal, saw nothing but open floor, and took off toward the rim for what looked like an easy fast break bucket.
I don't want to hear about, okay, that's a flagrant 2 and you get this sort of fine. She should be suspended for the rest of the season because this isn't, as you said, Tommy, a whoops. This is intentional. This was targeting Sophie Cunningham, and I don't care if the player is white or black. It does not matter. When you do this to somebody, this is horrible for the league. Obviously, this was done because Sophie Cunningham stood up for women, saying that men shouldn't play against women in sports because there is obviously a chromosome advantage, just like you see with steroids, a chemical advantage. And I'll leave it here. Serena Williams, I saw this clip just this week. 2013, she's on David Letterman when Letterman hosted the Late Show. And she was asked, would you play Andy Murray, who was a big deal in tennis, British guy in tennis? She said, no, I wouldn't. Andy asked me to do it. I would lose.
Right on her heels was Dejanai Carrington. As Cunningham soared through the air, completely open and defenseless, Carrington didn't attempt any real basketball play. She closed the distance and drove a hard, unforgiving shot straight to Cunningham's head and neck. The blow was violent enough to knock Cunningham clean out of the air, sending her crashing to the floor, even as her layup somehow still dropped through the net. The whole arena went silent in shock. Order broke down instantly. Cunningham wasn't about to just lie there. She jumped back up, furious, and went straight after Carrington, shoving her before teammates and refs rushed in to keep things from turning into a full-on brawl in front of a national audience. Officials had nowhere to hide at this point. With the situation spiraling, they ran straight to the monitor to review the play. And once they watched it back, there was zero gray area, a clear wind-up, a brutal hit, reckless follow-through. The call got upgraded on the spot to a flagrant 2, and Carrington was tossed from the game. Now, if you think the ejection was the end of it, think again. The real disaster hadn't even started yet. Because barely minutes after security walked her off the floor, Carrington took this thing somewhere no one expected. She grabbed her phone in the locker room and turned a basketball foul into a full-blown culture war, posting the words, "white privilege," a move that instantly tried to yank the conversation away from her own reckless play.
It was you that whacked Sophie Cunningham on the head. You whacked the white girl on the head and you got a consequence for it, right? You got punished for it. And then you broke league policy because you took to the internet and posted white privilege. And then you don't even know. The rules itself says, according to the 2026 WNBA official rulebook, an ejected player or coach must immediately retreat to the team's locker room, or leave the building entirely. However, because league policy prohibits players from using personal electronic devices or posting online until all post-game media obligations are fulfilled, they cannot use their phones while waiting in the locker room. And Dejanai Carrington, you used your phone while you was in the locker room posting white privilege. You used your phone while you was posting the next scheduled date where you play the Indiana Fever on August 23rd. And DJNA, till this second, at the very time, it's 2:50 p.m. in New York right now. And up to this second, at the time of this recording, you have still yet to be punished yet, DJNA. You have still yet to be punished. So DJNA, please enlighten me. Where is the white privilege? Because if I'm not mistaken...
Suddenly, this wasn't just a basketball story anymore. It was a racial flashpoint demanding answers. So when reporters brought up the post during post-game interviews, Sophie Cunningham didn't flinch. She handled it with total composure, calmly picking apart Carrington's attempt to change the subject. Straight up, Cunningham said she believed the foul was intentional, plain and simple, unnecessary. She admitted she barely knew Carrington, had no history with her, and figured the whole thing was really just a bid for attention. Asked directly about the white privilege post, Cunningham didn't hold back. She said there was no reason to bring that into it at all, and brought up her own past to prove her point, reminding everyone she'd gotten ejected for something similar last season and owned it completely. Her message was clear: accountability isn't about race. That attempt to play victim blew up in Carrington's face, exposing a bigger problem, an unwillingness to just own a dangerous, reckless play. And it wasn't only fans who were fed up. The hit, plus the locker room post, set off a wave of anger from major media voices tired of seeing this kind of behavior go unchecked. Enter Joe Concha. The media analyst didn't hold back either, calling out both the deliberate nature of the hit and what he saw as a cowardly move to hide behind race instead of taking responsibility. He came out swinging, demanding real punishment, not just an ejection, but a serious suspension that actually sends a message. His point was simple: you can't throw a dangerous hit on the court and then try to dodge accountability with inflammatory talk. And when respected national analysts start publicly demanding punishment like this, that's when you know the league has a real crisis on its hands.
DJNA Carrington went to the locker room and tweeted,
to be upgraded, I think, to a flagrant.
White privileged. How in the hell is this white privilege when you assaulted a player? Sophie didn't touch you. How is this a race issue? Make it make sense. Because I am definitely confused here, guys. I mean, I am hella confused. How is this a race issue, bro? And then not only that, Sophie Cunningham speaks on the matter. So immediately after the game, y'all know the reporters wasted no time catching up with the Sophster. And a lot of stuff did happen, and I did forget about the Caitlin Clark getting a technical. So Caitlin Clark is more than likely going to be suspended, bro. She's going to be suspended. So Sophie Cunningham was asked. Sophie Cunningham, in response to DJ...
Fans everywhere are backing Concha up, and the internet hasn't slowed down. Calls are pouring in from every direction demanding the WNBA suspend DJNA Carrington for the rest of the season. More and more people agree. Letting her walk back onto the court after a flagrant 2 headshot, followed by that wild social media meltdown, would be a total failure on the league's part. Sure, the refs did their job by ejecting her, but now all eyes are on the front office. If the league actually cares about protecting the integrity of the game, they can't just brush this outrage aside. This has turned into a real showdown, a shaky system on one side, and a growing demand for accountability on the other. As for the game itself, Indiana held on for a 90-86 win over Chicago, but honestly, nobody's talking about the score anymore. The only question left is simple: what is the league going to do about DJNA Carrington?
Like, I mean, come on. Look at the technical fouls Caitlin Clark is getting. And we are going to get into why Caitlin Clark is being targeted. Look at this. Was clearly bumped into a referee. And this referee took offense to it and literally called the technical foul. Caitlin couldn't believe it, right? And you would think, like, okay, that's not that bad, right? But then when you bring up another incident with Natasha Cloud during the same game, if I might add, during the same exact game, Natasha Cloud was seen pushing this same exact referee with no punishment, with no consequence. In fact, shutting DeJanae's claims down that this is not white privilege. In fact, this is black privilege. Let's be real with ourselves. Shout out to Rose Rance, my guy, Black and White Sports. One of the realest in this space, man. Shout out to my guy. Make sure y'all go subscribe to him. If you're not, you're living under a rock. But look at this, man. Natasha Cloud seen pushing the referee. Oh my gosh. One more time, just in case you missed it. Natasha Cloud bumping the referee. You can clearly see she's physically putting her hand on the referee's ribcage, pushing her out of the way. And the referee's like, no, Natasha, stop. Stop it. This is so attractive to me. Stop it, Natasha. I'm supposed to be professional right now. Look at this, man. This is disgusting work, man. You could put hands on the referee's bodies, on her arms, and this is, guys, I could be wrong, but this is the look of love. I don't know. This let me know if I'm tripping. This is the look of love. Play Sade, kiss of love. This is the kiss of love, man. But when Caitlin Clark gets bumped by this same exact person, Natasha Cloud,
So clearly was a foul, was not called.
insane, man.
Oh.
Insane. And now that I'm looking at it, Natasha Cloud gave her a look.
Not called.
Like, you gonna let her do that to you, baby? Natasha gave her a look. Look at this. After this, look at this. She threw Caitlin Clark into her and then stared at the referee. You cannot make this up, man. Natasha Cloud looking at the referee like, oh, you really gonna let that happen? Look at this. This is crazy, man. And then turns her head the other way. And the referee like, nah, I'm calling it. It was too much pressure on the referee. She didn't know what to do. So instead of not calling the foul, the referee said, oh, I'm going to call a technical foul on Caitlin. I got to do something. I missed the first foul. I have to do something. The referee must have just panicked because it's like, I can't help Caitlin. I refuse to. You know, it's not even helping her. It's just doing your damn job anyways. And then you want to see more black privilege, right? Because Paige Beckers, her skin color might be white, but she's treated like a sister. If I'm not mistaken, one of her parents might be black or something like that too, right? But neither here nor there. Let's look at Paige Beckers literally bumping a referee. Look at this. The music. I mean, look at this, man. Paige Beckers literally bumping into a referee. I don't know if this is a love bump. I don't know what it is, but it didn't get a technical foul, right? So once again, privilege in this league. You know what I'm saying? But man, listen, like...
Right now, one question is hanging over the entire league, and nobody has an answer yet. Will the people in charge actually listen to Joe Concha, to the millions of furious fans flooding social media, and finally hand down a suspension long enough to actually mean something? Or will they cave under pressure, look the other way, and let this kind of dangerous, reckless behavior slide like it never even happened? Because make no mistake, this decision is going to define the rest of the season. One path sends a clear message that violent, calculated fouls have real consequences. The other path tells every single player in the league that you can throw a dangerous hit, hide behind a controversial excuse, and still get to walk right back onto the court like nothing happened. There is no middle ground here. The league is standing at a crossroads, and everybody is watching to see which direction they choose. Meanwhile, through all of this chaos, one player has remained completely unshaken. Sophie Cunningham took the hardest hit of her career, got knocked flat on her back in front of a national audience. And instead of falling apart, she stood right back up. No excuses, no dramatics, just pure resilience. She refused to be baited into some manufactured social media battle, and she refused to let a false narrative define her. When the cameras were rolling and the questions got uncomfortable, she didn't dodge a single one. She spoke with total honesty, called out the situation exactly as she saw it, and let the truth do all the heavy lifting. That takes a different kind of toughness. Anyone can throw a cheap shot. Not everyone can absorb one, get back up, and still handle the aftermath with that much composure. And that contrast is exactly why this story has completely taken over the sports world. On one side, you have a player who chose accountability. On the other, a player who chose deflection. Fans are not confused about which one deserves respect, and that's exactly why the outrage keeps growing louder by the hour. Right now, the trust between players, officials, and fans is stretched thinner than it has been in years. Every decision the league makes from this point forward is going to be judged under a microscope. This isn't a small controversy that fades away in a few days. This is turning into a defining moment for how the entire league handles player safety, accountability, and honesty moving forward. Let's be clear about something important here. This story stopped being about one hard foul a long time ago. This is about whether professional sports still stands for something. It's about whether players can trust that dangerous, reckless plays will actually be punished, and whether manufactured excuses will ever be allowed to overshadow the truth. The soul of the league is genuinely on the line, and everyone from players to fans to analysts can feel it. So here's what happens next. The league now has to make a decision, and there is no version of this where they can quietly avoid it. Every single move they make, every statement they release, every disciplinary action they take will be dissected and debated by millions of people who are already paying close attention. This story is not slowing down anytime soon. We are staying locked onto every single update as this situation continues to unfold, because this is far from over, and the final decision could reshape the rest of the season. If you want to stay ahead of every twist in this unfolding scandal before anyone else, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, turn on notifications, and drop your honest opinion in the comments below. Do you think the league finally steps up, or do they let this slide? Let us know, because this story is just getting started.